Stop going to Dubai. 90% of the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, are immigrants. They are the ones building those skyscrapers with no cultural meaning. Those useless skyscrapers on sand. They're getting contracts that are basically slave contracts. There is a video explaining more on the matter. Stop going to Dubai.
Clear, and the foreign investors weren't going to be making the buildings. And so it quickly became clear that Dubai needed labor, and fast. And so to fuel its rapid development, Dubai would do everything it could to bring a huge force of migrant workers into the country. And this is where the foundations of Dubai would become very shaky. Around 90% of the population of the UAE are immigrants as well. The majority come from India, Africa, or other developing countries. Unlike Karakoram or Salman Khan's people, they weren't brought there by war. Instead, it's economic pressure and desperation that has sucked them in. Their experiences are the real Dubai, and it couldn't be any further from what the influencers are showing off.
Several investigations into Qatar stadiums reveal that employers usually house workers in private camps far from city centers, where they are forced to live in overcrowded rooms and unsanitary conditions. And at work, their lives are put at risk. Migrant workers are often given the most dangerous jobs on the site.
In many ways, the same things that bring influencers to Dubai are also what brought the millions of migrant workers opportunity. In countries like Nepal, India, Bangladesh, the Philippines, and all around the world, people hear about how they can support their families by working abroad. Agents from recruitment companies promise them good wages, accommodation, and a way to make a life for their loved ones. The first part of the exploitation comes as a large recruitment fee, often around $2,000. The workers are told this covers their visa and travel. In reality, it's simply extortion. It also keeps them in debt. A key part of the scam as it limits their options to escape. The total of illegal fees for just one security company operating in this way, G4S, amounts to millions of dollars, and that's just one company. Once they arrive in the UAE, their passports are confiscated and they're sent to live in dismal camps on the outskirts of the city. One Vice documentary shows a warehouse, where each cramped room houses 9 people each, with only one shower between every 5 rooms. The wages they were promised get slashed by 2/3 in some cases, the previous contracts getting ripped up. Then the payment of these meager salaries are often delayed or simply forgotten, leaving the workers and their families at home in even more peril.
The guys were being paid almost nothing to build it.
So they're being built by slaves?
That's not an exaggeration, yeah.
Really?
Once they find themselves out there and they realise how much they're getting paid or how much they're not getting paid, they're indebted by the time they arrive there. So it is.
So top of the list of places not to move to is actually Dubai, or the GCC. And I'll tell you the reason why is because over there is a superiority classing system. And if you are from a poorer country or you've got a lower ethnic origin, then you will be treated like a third-class citizen. No matter how financially strong you are, no matter what your educational standard is, you'll be treated accordingly. So my brother lived in Dubai, my daughter lived in Dubai for a little while, my mother lived in Dubai for a little while, and you get to see the real scene that goes on in the background and how these people are treated, what their living standards are like. And for that simple reason, I would never ever move to a country like that. Your financial status, your British passport, your accent, where you've originated from dictates where you will be and how you will be treated. It is a racist country. That's Dubai. GCC, the rest of them, I can't comment on because I've never been there, so I don't know what it's like. However, nobody is better than anybody else. Doesn't matter what your colour is, doesn't matter what your financial status is, doesn't matter where you originate from. Everybody's a human being and should be treated accordingly with kindness, and that is it. That's it. Why can't we just be kind to one another? And that will drive out all of the negativity that people harness, and the place would be a much nicer place to be. Anyhow, Dubai, definite no. It is not the place to live.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I just hope that you're doing fine. Now I want us to watch this video. This video is about this white lady, and it's not a matter of just being white. The fact that she sees the inhuman treatment that people are being treated in Dubai, and you know, most of us Africans have fallen the victims of this, right? And she comes out and she discusses this and how the agencies lure people to go there to go work, and then after they go, things change. And probably I know you might be having your own story in regards to this. Maybe you might want to share with us. But first, you know, I want us to watch this video because it plays an important role in showing the true picture of what really happens in Dubai, because she sends a warning to people who want to go to Dubai to work, because sometimes you might fall in the hands of wrong people and they may just use you, and the amount they say that they'll pay you most of the times they don't pay that, and most definitely you get to work so hard, pay a little, and imagine the fact that you are a person who comes from a poor background, because most definitely most of people leave their country to change, to change where they come from. They have the goal to change where they come from. And imagine going in a foreign place, going there to work to change where you came from, and then the amount you're being paid is so ridiculous, right? And it doesn't even match the amount of work you put, the amount of product you make, or the amount of profit you make for these people. Now I want us to watch this video by this lady who she's sharing what she thinks about those people who travel to Dubai to go and work. I know it's unique because it comes from a white lady, and I know there is history of slavery generally in the white community, but I know we still have pretty good white people who still have the conscience of saying something is wrong, something is right? So let's dive right into the video. I'll be back with my commentary.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk today about a place that so many people go on holiday to, okay? It's so fashionable to go to this place, and you can see from the title where I'm talking about, Dubai, which is part of the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE. And I feel like it's very, very stylish at the minute to go there, to prove that you are someone, to show that you've got money, to show that you've got status. It's a very kind of Instagrammable place with the skyscrapers, infinity pools, huge shopping malls, etc, etc. It's a very expensive place, which is why, of course, it's so in vogue at the minute. If you want a package holiday, that's fine, you do you. If you want to stay in a big skyscraper in Singapore with an infinity pool, you do you, live your best life, I don't care. So triggered by those phrases. But the thing about Dubai, and I hate this word, but being a tourist and visiting Dubai and staying in these places is inherently problematic, okay? And it's because of something that I'm going to talk about in more detail in just a second. But basically, I'm going to talk in this video about human trafficking, also known as modern day slavery, which is just slavery. Okay, when most people think of slavery, they think about, you know, in America, people being shipped over from Africa and forced to work as slaves. And of course, that was slavery. But it's very, very naive to think that we don't have that now. And we have slaves in every single country, every corner of the world. This kind of euphemism of human trafficking, I feel like, diminishes the true nature of what is actually going on. It trivializes it somewhat. You know, you think of human trafficking and you don't realize that this is slavery. So I'm going to explain just how a very specific type of slavery is working in the UAE, Dubai, and just what that has to do with the tourism to Dubai. So I'm not going to talk about child trafficking or the trafficking of women for commercial sexual exploitation. That does make up the vast majority of human trafficking, but right now I'm going to talk about people being trafficked for. So the way that this works in Dubai is that people in poor countries, so let's say India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, they're told that if they just pay a visa fee, then they can come and work in Dubai as a manual labourer, and that they will get, you know, plush staff accommodation. They'll get £300 or euros a month to send home, and they can just basically save some money and leave. And it sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't want to live in Dubai? Epitome of luxury. And it is, but not for these guys. So what actually happens when they get to the UAE, their passports are confiscated, and the contracts that they signed online are basically ripped up, and they're told that from now on they won't be getting £300. They'll be getting about 120 to 160 a month. They will be working 12-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week in 50-degree heat outside, and that's their life. They live in squalid living conditions. There's actually a documentary which I'm going to link in the description. It's just a 15-minute one that basically explores the conditions that these people live in, and it's horrible. They're like shanty towns. There's one outdoor hole in the floor bathroom between 45 people. They cook outside on a fire because there's no gas inside, and they just live on bread and rice because they literally can't afford to eat meat, fish, or anything like that. It's horrific, honestly. The conditions that they live in are horrific. They're unhygienic. Good. Now the problem is that these people cannot just leave. First of all, they don't have their passports, and second of all, even if they did, they can't afford to get back home, and oftentimes they are indebted to their employer who has purchased them, and so they have to work off this debt. So it's a kind of bonded labour. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what this has to do with tourism to Dubai. What this has to do with tourism to Dubai is a lot, actually. So all of these fancy skyscrapers, hotels, shopping malls, they are built on the backs of these workers, okay? And so if you stay in these hotels, if you shop in these shopping malls, dine at these restaurants, etc., then you are into this horrific practice. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, I'm one person. If I decide not to go to Dubai, that's not going to change anything when it comes to slavery and things like that. And yeah, of course, you're right. It's going to take more than one person boycotting Dubai for anything to change. I agree. However, these things start with one person. So if you talk about not eating animal products, for example, if one person decides not to eat meat and dairy, etc., yeah, that's not going to change the world. It's not going to save the planet. But if everyone decides to do it, then real change happens. It's the same with using less plastic. Yes, if only one person uses less straws, then we're not going to automatically save the planet. But if everyone does a little bit, then that is how real change starts. And it's exactly the same with going to Dubai. If everyone decides, no, we refuse to support this, then things are going to have to change. If we hold the UAE accountable for the conditions that their workers are living in, and I say workers, but I really mean slaves, then something is going to have to change. And honestly, it's not even as though you're making a big sacrifice by not going to Dubai. There are plenty of places just like Dubai, where you can drink cocktails, stay in a skyscraper, go in an infinity pool, buy designer clothes. You can go to Singapore, okay? You can go to a myriad of places. You are not going to have to compromise your holiday, but actually you might be doing a really good thing. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to make people a bit more aware of this. I know that it's not very in-depth. Like I said, I will put the link to the documentary in the description. It's definitely something to check out and share and kind of spread the message, because it's very, very few people are aware of this. And honestly, these people miles away from home with no passports, no one can hear them. We can't reach them. We can't talk to them. Their voices are going unheard. So just don't go to Dubai. Most of us can do. So thank you for watching. If you liked this video, then subscribe to me, and of course like it, etc.
I hope if it takes a person who is a traveler to go to such kind of places and get to see really what happens or what's really in these places, it's really good that we get to have these perspectives of these people. It's important that our brothers and sisters, especially our sisters here in Africa, who live, our sisters are so obsessed with leaving Africa to go and work in these places. Like, they literally don't know that you can create your own opportunity in the country. And I understand that the times are really bad. The economic shape of some of our countries are not well. Our country is still grappling with corruption. Our leaders are squandering the money that should be used to employ the youths to work in different places, you know. But youths are left desperate, and some of them will leave their country, look for passport, leave their country, go to these places to work as an alternative way of escaping poverty, right? And poverty is not a good thing, and most definitely people always want to fight poverty with all means. But again, looking on the flip side, you look at yourself and see, what can I do? What can I do in the space where I am? I understand the country is fucked up and people are not employed. We have graduates who have laid out with no work, with no money, with no everything. People don't even know where to start with. And That's why you find majority of the young youths between 18 to 35, people are really stressed. People are really traumatized by the conditions of living, that people face. And as a result, people seek desperately go to work to these places. And it pains me that while they leave their places with the hope or within keeping in mind that where they're going to help them change the life of where they came from, right? And they go to these places, the amount of money that they're being paid doesn't really make it significant for them or give it a reason for them living. And now this has been proven, or these have shown in different people's aspect, and we've seen the mistreatment of black people in different places. And this is just so sad, right? Because first, it's inhuman. These people are leaving the country because there are no opportunities, right? Now, my advice to my fellow brothers and sisters, especially my sisters who want to go to Dubai, and I know you want to change everything of where you live, trust me, grass is greener only where you water it. There are opportunities that when you can tap into them, you can just make things right. You can change everything. You just need to figure out what you can do. Start by a little. I know it takes much, but just start by a little. It's gonna go a long way to change, like everything. It's gonna go a long way to elevate people. And I know it's so challenging, especially when you're a person who is starting with nothing. I understand. I really understand, and it's so sad. So seeing this lady coming out to try address these contemporary issues when it comes to modern slavery that our black people go to these places to do, because you find that our black people also go to these places and they be given inhuman job, some substandard job. Some people go to fulfill the fetish of these people, like hitting their own shit, right? It's not cool. But you find that people are being left desperate, and what they gotta do, just gotta do it for money, because that's what they live to do. And if you're watching back there, what advice can you give these people? Because it takes a lot. And we also need to call out the doers, the people who are perpetuating this modern slavery. We need to call them out. We need to tell them that what they're doing is not right. And I understand that they have money, they have influence, and they have the power of impunity. But if we can call this all of us together, I think that our voices can get to reach these people, and the government, our authorities, our countries can take full authority and really take care of this, because this is something which is really uncalled for. This is something which is inhuman. This is something that really needs to be called out. Tell me what you think about this video. As you know, these are presented Gene Took Stories, and until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.